Laura Loomer has been banned from almost every media. Am I right? Almost
Yeah, every social media company.
every social media company. Oh, into the microphone. There
Yes,
we go.
every single social media company.
Instagram, even
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats, PayPal,
Uber Eats. Now,
Venmo, GoFundMe.
Why would Uber Eats? Why would Uber Eats like ban you? I mean,
I don't know. I guess they want me to starve. I guess they hate me that much, right?
So you want to now give us an example why Twitter, for example, would ban you. Now I know
Right.
they banned James Woods, and also when I tweet something and it's got something to do with President Trump, you know what happens, Laura? It goes to tweets and replies.
Yeah.
And then I know I didn't put on tweets and replies. I wanted to put it on a regular tweet, and I don't do it. So you have to trick them and have to retweet it or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of social media bias. I was permanently banned from Twitter on November 21st of last year because I posted that Ilhan Omar was anti-Jewish. And so I had been doing this extensive investigation on the ground in Minnesota. I'm an investigative journalist. And I was, focusing on Ilhan Omar before anyone really knew who she was or was even caring to really talk about this woman. She now has 1 million followers on Twitter, and I was investigating her when she had 18,000. So it just goes to show you how early I was in terms of investigating her. I was one of the first to really talk about her marrying her brother, that scandal, which is only now getting mainstream media attention, and all of her anti-Semitism and terror associations. And when I posted on Twitter that she was anti-Jewish, a few days later after the election, I got a notification saying that my account had been permanently suspended because of hate speech. So apparently calling out Jew hatred by one of the most notorious anti-Jewish congresswoman we've ever had, or one of the most anti-Jewish politicians really to ever hold office in the United States, is considered hate speech. But yesterday, of course, on Twitter, you saw there was this Egyptian actor who has 800,000 followers. He's verified, and he tweeted, "It's time to start killing Jews." And Twitter did nothing, of course, so that's not hate speech. And Louis Farrakhan calling Jewish people termites, or Linda Sarsour calling for jihad against President Trump isn't hate speech, but me calling out Jew hatred is, apparently.
Tell me about your Jewish background. You were brought up. Your father's from New York.
Yeah.
And you're best to your dad.
Yes.
So you were brought up in Tucson?
Yeah, I'm from Tucson, Arizona, and my father's from New York, of course. And I wouldn't say that I had a super Jewish upbringing. I am Jewish. I was raised Jewish, but my family wasn't very religious, right?
Yep.
But it was just more of a kind of self-taught and self-appreciation for my Jewish heritage and also Israel that really inspired me to do the work that I'm doing today. I identify as a Zionist. I mean, I never heard the word Zionist while growing up in my own household. I spent most of my childhood in boarding school, actually, from the time I was 12 to 18. And so a lot of it is really just from my own understanding, and from a very young age, I understood that conservative values and the Republican Party was the right party, right? The right side to be on.
Does it get you crazy, Laura, that a lot of my Jewish friends who I grew up with down the shore in Jersey, they're all liberal Democrats, man, and they keep voting that way. And so when something like Ilhan Omar, I want to stay on there, if I can, because this is why you got banned from Twitter, because you called
Ilhan Omar anti-Jewish, yeah.
That was the reason.
Was the tweet, yeah.
But she's anti-Semitic, and she's anti-Israel, and she, in my opinion,
she's anti-America.
Anti-American. That's a word that's just going to come out of my mouth.
No, she really is. Yeah, I mean that's what got me banned, of course. But yes, the Democrat Party has reached an all-time low. They've always been the party of racism, and quite frankly, it's very disturbing to me that most Jews in this country are voting for the Democrat Party, because the Democrat Party, during Obama's administration in their convention, they voted to remove any mention of Jerusalem from their party platform, of course. Not a single Democrat was in Israel last year for the official embassy move in Jerusalem.
Right.
I was there on the ground.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there. I was in Israel for a month reporting, and I wasn't inside the ceremony when it was taking place, but I was on the Hill covering a lot of the protests, of course, and reporting. And there weren't any Democrats there. They don't support the Jewish people. They don't support Israel. You have the Obama administration and the Democrats supporting the Iranian nuclear deal, and now you have the Iranians now of course, violating the terms set out in that deal, which, of course, President Trump ended. And now there's more hostility than ever from the Iranians, not only talking about potentially nuking Israel, but having aggression towards the United States. And so it's created a very difficult and contentious and volatile situation. And I would just urge Jewish people to really wake up and realize that the Democrat Party will walk you to the gas chamber. They will walk you to the ovens.
And not to be too dramatic there, and Laura, what you just said, what's happening in the United States House of Representatives, I thought I'd never see it in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening.
And I can make those, I can take it that far, because if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other members of the Hamas caucus, as I like to call them, are going to go as far as saying that ICE detention centers equipped with healthcare, food, water, and humane living quarters for illegal aliens who come to our country willingly, right? If she's going to call that a concentration camp, then why can't I? Why can't I? Make comparisons? The Holocaust was less than 80 years ago, right? And when we say never again, right? I'm afraid that never again really doesn't mean never again anymore.
Yeah. And look at Antifa. Is that the wildest thing, what's happening with Antifa?
It's been happening.
What happened to Andy Ngo? Did you see that? The poor guy's got a brain hemorrhage.
And I know Andy from when I was on social media, and look, it's terrible, but hopefully something good comes out of this. And now more than ever, people are talking about Antifa, and it's long overdue. I mean, this should have been addressed years ago. When I was working for Project Veritas, and we were doing investigations into a lot of the political violence and the bird dogging that Hillary Clinton's campaign was, of course, promoting and funding. Antifa was showing up to rallies, and Tim Kaine, who was her vice presidential pick, his son was even arrested and charged as being a member of Antifa.
Right.
So this has been going on for many years now, and only now it's getting the attention it deserves.
So this young lady is Laura Loomer, and I'll tell you, I don't know, forgive me, I'm in a silly mood. We're going into the 4th of July. I feel patriotic. I feel good. We were getting silly on the show, but on this, you've been banned from so many platforms, and then Frankie invited you to come in live here on the air. So now that you've got airwaves, and by the grace of God, we got a lot of listeners now.
Yes.
You got a platform across the United States of America, around the world. They listen. Laura, what do you want to say? What are we misunderstanding about you when Jack Dorsey shuts you down?
Well, I think that what people are misunderstanding about me is, there seems to be this consensus on the left, or this false narrative that I'm some type of bigot. I'm a hateful person. I'm a white supremacist. They've gone so far to call me a Nazi. And Facebook labeled me a dangerous individual, along with Alex Jones and Paul Joseph Watson and Milo Yiannopoulos. And they said that we're too dangerous to be on social media, and anybody who, of course, shares our content will be banned. And, I'm just a patriotic American Jewish woman. I'm a Trump supporter. I support our Constitution, and I would just hope that people would hear me out and listen to the issues that I'm talking about, issues that are rational and fact-based and not hateful at all, before they make a judgment. And unfortunately, if you look me up online, my character has been completely assassinated. My Wikipedia page has been taken over. They call me a conspiracy theorist. They call me, a bigot. They say I'm anti-Muslim because I speak truth about Islam. And we need more truth tellers in this country, or else we're going to lose our country, plain and simple.
Laura Loomer live on the show. Laura, thank you. Before we get out of here, where can we find you? And now that they ban you from absolutely everything, and you're very popular, just taking pictures with everybody here, girl. So where can we find you? And now that you're banned from pretty much social media everywhere.
Yeah. Well, people can go to my website, lauraloomer.us. I have a byline on Drudge Report now under Rush Limbaugh's name. So subscribe to my website. Sign up for my daily newsletter. I'm also on the new social media app called Parler.
Yeah, what is Parler now?
Parler is this new alternative, and it's not as mainstream as I would like it to be yet, but it's still something. And, I'll take anything I can get at this point in time because I'm, like I said, banned on every other platform. And for people who want to learn about tech censorship and my lawsuit against Twitter and CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, you can go to freeloomer.com and you can see a lot of the information regarding my social media bans and how executives at Facebook and Twitter were lobbying and taking meetings with members of Islamic terrorist organizations to ban me because of the fact that I'm Jewish and also the fact that I do a lot of work to expose Sharia law in America and Islamic terrorism. So, of course, it's a very serious issue. You have these tech billionaires literally aiding and abetting terrorist organizations.
Did you see Tucker's show yesterday? Tucker did a show that should get some kind of a Pulitzer Prize. I tell you, the reporting he did yesterday was great. But he had a guy on who started Wikipedia, Frankie Fibros.
Larry Sanger.
He was on. Wasn't Larry on? And he said he's calling for a boycott on July 4th of all social media, just to boycott it. Take 2 days on Facebook particularly, just to go and just say, I'm going to boycott it. But how do you get the word? I'm like addicted myself.
Right. Well, of course, we have been calling for boycotts as well. The Stop the Bias movement, which I created, of course, to address social media bias. We had a couple blackouts for 48 hours. And last February, here in New York City, I had another protest at Twitter, and we had people do a boycott for 48 hours. And the day before my protest, Chase Bank temporarily shut down my online access to my bank account. So people need to wake up and realize that it's really serious in this country.
Laura, great to see you. Laura Loomer, thank you for coming in. Frankie, thank you. Albert, thank you. Debbie, thank you. Thank you for watching.